Nothing contained in this podcast should be considered a substitute for professional medical advice. This content does not represent our respective employers and is purely the opinion of the podcast hosts. We are not your personal medical providers. Sorry, friends. So, if you have concerns or are seeking a diagnosis or treatment, please seek individual advice from a healthcare provider in your area. We are not liable for any risks associated with acting upon the information contained in this podcast. This is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only, so enjoy the ride.
Please drink responsibly and in moderation. Before drinking, please be sure to be of the legal drinking age for your country. We do not encourage the misuse of alcohol.
Welcome to Medical Media Mixer, the perfect cocktail. I'm Nicole Peniston, psychologist.
And I'm Tara Prisco, physician assistant. And I just realized that my internet is being really slow in uploading.
And it's funny, I thought it was mine,
No,
but then I realized it was yours.
I'm plugged in physically, like literally hardwired, like whatever it's called, cable.
See, we're like regular people, listeners. We have internet problems too.
It's hanging. It's going up. It's in the 90s now. All right, I think we're good. I just like jiggled it. Maybe it wasn't all the way in.
That's what she said.
I knew you were going to say that.
You walked right into it.
I know. I do that all the time.
You
I
do.
set you up. I hand it to you, you know?
You do. You set it up. I shoot him down.
So we have a lot to catch up on because
We do. You went on a whole ass vacay.
I know. I was gone for 2 weeks. Plus this is like late in the week. So it's been like almost 3 weeks essentially since we've spoken to each other.
Yes. Many things have happened.
I know. All right. So give me some highlights while we haven't spoken. Tell me something.
Highlights of my
Life.
time. I went to the dentist twice.
Ooh, so exciting.
Well, I haven't been to the dentist. So I had dental insurance and then I didn't. And then I don't particularly love the dentist because of a traumatic incident in adulthood, not childhood. I used to love the dentist. I was that weird kid. So I was avoiding the dentist, finally went, and then I needed some work done. So I scheduled for the very next day to do half the work just because I had the time. I was able to do it. And my gum is still sensitive. I feel like my gum is bruised. This was on Tuesday I went.
Yeah.
And they were doing like a lot of work in there, but it's just, I was hoping to feel better by now. But it does feel like a bruise. So I think it'll go away.
Oh.
Like I can chew and eat and talk, obviously. So that was the dentist.
My hubby went to the dentist and hadn't gone in like multiple years since he had a crown placed. And apparently he'd gone for like acute things, but not been for a real cleaning in like 10 years we're talking. Like he'd been there, but not. So they're like,
you're going to have to get the saw out, not the
Well,
drill.
they're like, you have to come for a scaling. So he was obsessed on vacation. He bought these like not regular flossy, like these little things like little Christmas trees. Yeah. And after every meal, he was obsessively like doing that and Listerining and brushing. He's like, I'm going to beat the dentist. I'm going to go back and they're not going to need to scale me. Okay.
I don't think you can beat the dentist.
I'm like, he's like, wants to like beat the system somehow. Good luck.
I don't think it's a game, but best of luck to him.
So every time he eats, I'm like, are you done in the bathroom yet? Come on. Like, come on.
That's so funny. So I went to the dentist twice. I went to a wine festival with Deb. That was nice.
That's nice. Was it good weather?
It was beautiful weather that day. It wasn't too hot. It was really nice out. And at the wine festival, it was a very small one, they had a bookmobile.
Ooh, I've seen those. I didn't see one in person. That's so exciting.
I have their business card. It's not in front of me. I'll have to get it and mention them the next one time we record. But I was talking to them. I shared our podcast card with them. And they said that they're going to kind of give us a heads up as to the next event that they're at. And maybe we can come and record and talk with them about some books.
Oh, yay. That sounds so much fun.
I did a lot of networking. I also
you're so good. I went on a whole cruise and land tour and didn't talk to anyone about it.
Oh, I have 2 other things I talk to places about, which I'll tell you off pods. That way, once we set it up, we could talk about on pod. But 2 other places that are interested in collabing with us.
That's good. That's why you're a marketing person, because you talk a lot and you're good at that. And I'm bad at that.
Try.
My cruise was all like senior citizens anyway. I don't think they're, other than our moms, I don't think that's our demographic.
I mean, that sounds amazing. And both of our moms are highly offended that you just called them senior citizens. I know Deb is pissed. You're on the shit list now.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, Deb.
Yeah, watch out. So I think that was all that happened. Yeah, nothing else stands out. Just prepping for, I will be having a surgery at the end of the month. So trying to get work and life things in order so that way I can go and relax. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I think that's really it. Oh, I finally finished that one book that I was reading.
Oh, yes. The Vilest things, right?
No, the other one.
The other one.
the You Weren't Meant to Be Human. Girl.
Interesting.
Girl. Book Talk was not fucking around when they said it was the most fucked up book ever.
Really?
Like, to the very end, I was like, what? What? And I made the mistake of, before I finished it, recommending it to a patient.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I forgot what happens in like the first 5 pages, because she was like, is this what I'm supposed to be reading? And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that part. Well, you're an adult. Like, you're fine.
You're okay. You can handle it.
But she had to kind of step aside from the book. It was a little much for her. But I finished it. I was a trooper. I don't know if I'm better for it, but I finished it.
So I have to talk to you about my new book obsession. I hope I have some people on here who are my people. Dungeon Crawler Carl. If you have seen, you've heard
Is
of
this
Matt
like
Dinman.
a Dungeons and Dragons guy?
Sort of. So the author Matt Dinman was at definitely either Comic-Con or BookCon or both. He's huge. There's
the ones that we went to, or like San Diego?
No, the ones we went to. There are, I think, 8 books. I'm now rethinking Comic-Con that I might need to dress as a character. I'm obsessed. I wish I had somewhere to go for Halloween, because husband could be a coordinating character, because I got him to read the first book.
Sounds like you need to throw a party so you can wear your costume.
Right. I need to throw a party so I can wear a costume.
Unfortunately, I won't be in town, so I can't attend.
I know you're going to be at the vampire ball. So I mean,
that is true.
But it is addictive, amazing. It sounds crazy. It's essentially like apocalyptic, like world ending, aliens taking over the world. And everyone who's inside a building immediately dies. Buildings collapse. Anyone who happens to be outside is alive, are given the option. Either you can survive on the surface, or you go on the stairs and you can compete essentially to keep living. So you go down and you're in.
So it's a little Hunger Games.
Sort of. So
what's that other like competition with teens YA
yeah,
novel?
it's got that, but here's the thing. So husband was a huge MMO RPG, those type of games, like World of Warcraft, where you make your own character and you bring up this ability and you pick your race and your class and you
Girl,
magic.
Me and your hubby probably roleplayed together at one point and didn't know it.
So
I was super into it.
That's what this is. You get down there, you get like stats and you get buffs and you have to like all that stuff. So I'm used to it because he's been talking about this stuff forever. You can have a pet, you can have like all the stuff, and it I don't know, it's amazing and I love it. And the characters, and anyone who knows Princess Donut, Queen Anne Chonk, she is my girl.
Princess Donut, Queen Anne Chonk.
She's a Persian cat.
Like Chonk?
Yes. CHONK. But she is a Persian cat who becomes anthropomorphic.
And see, you never struck me as a cat person.
I'm not, but now I want a Persian cat named Princess Donut. I was
going to say, you know what the next logical step is. You've now become some guy's anime fantasy if you want to become a cat. It is what it is. I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum. But
but there are ways to cosplay this character. That's the character I want to be.
Of course.
And she wears these purple bedazzled sunglasses. She has a tiara.
Ears, I would hope.
Well, yes, she has ears. She is an actual cat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, can't forget the ears behind the crown.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I'm obsessed. I'm on book 5. I've read them so quick, and I'm going to get through them and then I have to wait for the next one. But I think the next one's coming out it's very soon. So
yeah.
I hope people out there understand my obsession. Comment, email us. Let me know if you're obsessed as well.
And if you're not, tell Tara what you really think about all this.
Yeah. So that's my big thing. I'm obsessed with these books.
Nice. So is that what you were reading while you were on your cruise?
I had originally decided, I was originally going to read this book about Alaska, but then I heard it was depressing and I was like, never mind. I started this other book and I'm like, no, I'm just going to continue this series the whole time. And it was good because it's easy, quick reading. It's not deep literature. So you don't have to you can just lightly read and have fun.
Nice. Yeah, I did not finish the vilest things, but I'm 3/4 of the way done. I finished that other book first, and I'm finishing that. Then I've got a lineup of other books, so I really need to get moving.
I know. My list keeps getting longer because I follow all the things about books, and then I just put them and add them to on my Kindle. So I just add them and add them if they're on Kindle Unlimited, or if not, I just buy them. And
I'm not even counting what's on my Kindle. My physical TBR pile is probably 70 books deep.
Oh yeah. See, I don't have physical books other than the free ones we got from BookCon and one other one. I gave away all my books years ago. I donated everything to the library and I kept a few that meant something that I wanted the kids to read. But for the most part, I am 100% Kindle girl. It's like literally my prized possession. Like literally,
Nice.
it goes with me
I have
everywhere.
a Kindle and I have a bunch of books on my Kindle, but I'm more of a physical book girly. And I am good. Like once I read them, I either save a bunch up and then donate them or sell them to Sell Your Books, where you get like a percentage back.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if you've seen like those big things that look like the clothing donation bins. They have them for books.
Oh, okay.
So I'll do that too. So I only keep books that I've read that I really, really, really enjoyed. So I think I've only have maybe like 5 books that I've kept.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot that I need to get through and I want to. It's just, in my defense, I literally read and write and talk for a living.
Right. And so, your reports are like these long, crazy things. So.
Minimum 20 pages.
Yeah.
And that's minimum 8 times a week. So
yeah.
I'm writing 100 pages a week.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I mean, geez, when I say it that way, I'm like, I need to get paid more.
Right?
Oof, who says I can't write a book? I've written many.
You've written books worth of stuff. That's for sure.
That is true. So I guess we should get into it today.
We should.
Oh, wait, I forgot what our new segment. What made you smile this week?
Princess Donut Queen Anne Chunk. She made me smile.
Is that her legal name? Her full legal name?
That is her full name because she was a show cat before this all happened. So she had like, you know how they have like these long names? Like Princess Donut was her short name, or Donut. And Carl always exclaims, "God damn it, Donut." So,
I mean, I feel like that's an exclamation if there ever was one.
Yeah. So what made you smile?
What made me smile this week? Let's see. Well, it was actually today. I was doing a feedback session and it was for a child, and the child was in the session. It was by telehealth, and she was just the sassiest, cutest little thing ever. And after like we talked about everything, I don't know how it came up, but basically how like she wants to be like an actor. Oh, she said she wanted in the fall to be in the play at school. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And she's like, I'm really good. I'm like really good. And I was like, of course you are. I was like, when you're famous, you're going to remember me, right? She's like, of course. I'm going to be like, people go see Dr. Nicole. She's the best. I was like, I love you. You're my favorite.
The best. Can I just put you in my pocket?
I know, seriously. And then I was like, darn it, she already has a therapist. I want to steal her for myself and keep her in my pocket.
She's so cute.
So she can give me little words of affirmation.
Right? She can be like all lifting you up.
And then there's this app that I recommend. Do you know it, Finch?
Yes, you've told me about it.
Yeah. So I always recommend that for like the kiddos. And she goes, can I be honest? I was like, sure. She goes, I used to have it and I really liked it. But then after a while, I would just click that I did the things, even though I didn't do them, because it made me too anxious if they were undone. And I said, okay, so we don't want you to be anxious, so that's okay. It's like, thank you for the feedback.
Oh, so it sounds like my one child might do that, like when she just was being lazy, and the other child, her Finch would be dead because she'd be like, wait, what? I was supposed to do that?
Your Finch never dies. Okay. They just don't progress. Because I haven't used my Finch in like probably 8 months, and she's still tweeting away. Her name is Nova.
Maybe I should get the app and try it out myself and then recommend it to kids.
Yeah, no, Nova's still kicking. She's still there. She just hasn't really gone anywhere, done anything, doesn't have any new outfits.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's okay. She's still alive.
It's like motivational. It's good.
Yeah. Aspirational, because I'm not actually doing it. So
okay.
Motivational means I'm doing it. Aspirational means I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do it.
Eventually. Maybe not.
I'm going to get around to it.
Yeah. But also, I bought a new little plant. She's far away, but she's a little spotted fern.
Very nice.
She made me smile too. I'm not a plant girly, but she caught my eye.
All right. I hope she lives.
Why'd you have to say that? Now she's going to die. I do have some tomatoes spurting in my arrow garden, and
that's the best.
Basil and some other stuff. And then I planted lavender, and then I actually read the label because apparently reading's fundamental, and it takes up to 21 days to sprout. So I don't know if the lavender's ever going to come.
Okay.
Because I don't know when I planted her, but nothing's happening yet. So I'll let you know. TBD.
All right, but that can be used in little cocktails.
Well, and I know that lavender, once it does grow, it grows like weeds.
I think
so
just keeps going.
Needs a starter. Start them. Yeah. Okay, so let's get to business.
Sure.
So my cocktail today is, I have to find it. What tab? Where I have too many tabs open in my mind. Oh, I didn't open it because it was in the document. So my cocktail is called, she doesn't have a name, because she came off of ChatGPT.
So we need to make a creative name. What is your subject material today? I don't even know.
Voyeurism. So the voyeur.
The voyeur. There you go.
The voyeur. to say it French-like.
Of course you do.
Super easy. It is, you muddle 3 strawberries, 3 grapes, 4 basil leaves, super fine sugar, which fun fact, it's not the same as regular little sugar packets.
Right.
It's like more fine.
More fine.
It's super fine. Girl, ain't nobody got time to find super fine sugar, so I use regular sugar.
Fine.
Crushed ice. You put all of that, you muddle those things into a shaker. You add the ice. It says 2 parts of vodka, so I did like 2 shots of vodka.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's 2 ounces, technically. And then you just shake it up and then strain it into a glass. So that's what I've got here, and it's pretty tasty.
So it's like vodka and fruit.
Yeah. It's kind of like a mojito. It's like a mojito, essentially.
Yeah.
Like a mojito is just
liquid on top
and...
of it, like soda water or anything?
No.
It's pure vodka.
Well, when you muddle the strawberries and the grapes, it is very juicy and watery.
Yeah.
Like, I was surprised. Like, I put them in the bottom of the shaker, and by the time I was muddled it, the shaker was like half full with liquid.
Okay.
So, fair amount of liquid. But it's pretty tasty. So
sounds refreshing.
Cocktail. It is. Very nice. On mine, I didn't follow the directions, but on purpose. So instead of using regular vodka, I used cucumber vodka. 1, because I love it, and I haven't used it in a while. And 2, I just thought it would be refreshing.
Yeah. That sounds like it works. Nice.
So that's my drink. And then I'm going to talk about a little film on the Netflix, also called Voyeur.
Okay.
We're getting super creative with the names today. Everything is just named the same thing.
That's okay.
So have you watched this film? Because it's been on Netflix for a while. It says it came out in 2017. I don't think it's a Netflix exclusive, but it's been out for a while because this is actually the 3rd time I watched it for this.
Yeah, I don't think it ever popped up in my algorithm.
Yeah. So, I mean, my algorithm is like 90% true crime. So that's why it popped up, because it is a semi-crime.
Okay.
We can't confirm, nor can we deny that a crime occurred.
Okay.
Or multiple crimes.
Okay.
So Voyeur follows this gentleman who, I really don't like when the little Netflix blurb doesn't give you the details of people's names, because now I don't remember. Basically, it follows this journalist. His name is Guy Talisse. He is very familiar when you watch this documentary.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a lot of like big breaking crime stories, news stories. So he's like top of his game, like a really good journalist. I believe he wrote for he's passed by now, but I believe he wrote for the New York Times. And so he comes to find out that, so I'm just trying to find the name of the main character so I can be appropriate when I'm talking about this. I had the link and then I must have closed it. Sorry. Hold, please. I'm just going
to dance while you do that.
Okay, here we go. So this journalist, he learns kind of like secondhand about this guy named Gerald Foos, and how he owned a motel in Colorado. And in what he did with this motel is basically he used it as his private voyeurism experiment, where this motel that he purchased, he designed it for the sole purpose of him getting to watch people.
Okay.
Yes.
That's real reassuring.
So by the time that Talisse finds out about this story, the guy's already gotten rid of the motel, sold it, like this is something in the past, had not really talked about it for a while. And now he's coming out with the story with a lot of encouragement from Talisse. Gerald is like, okay, fine, I'll tell you my story, whatever. So basically the documentary starts off with the 2 of them meeting and him kind of talking him into telling him the story, and then him describing to him how he set this up. So basically he had this motel, and it's like the typical, what you think of a motel, like the one, like kind of like a strip mall, all 1 floor motel.
Right.
Kind of in the middle of the road, middle of nowhere on like the side of a big highway. And basically what he says he did was that he built an observation platform in the ceilings so that he could climb up there and peer into each room through the vents.
Wow.
And watch people in any room at any time for any reason. And so that's kind of what starts it off. And then, of course, Talisse has all these questions like, well, how did you do it? How did you get this idea? When did you start? Blah, blah, blah. Like really digging in deep, because he thinks like he's got a gold mine of a story. Like this guy's confessing to being a voyeur for decades with unsuspecting people who paid him to stay at his motel.
Right.
So he's going down the rabbit hole. At the point where the documentary starts, the motel is still in existence. So Talisse is able to go, he no longer owns it, but it's in existence. I don't think anyone owns it because they're able to like kind of go inside. Mm-hmm. And he takes him up into like the voyeur area where he can like literally himself look down into those areas and see what it was like. So that kind of sells Talise on, okay, this is a real thing. This happens. Like, this is crazy. And then he starts gathering these stories about some of the craziest stuff that Gerald has watched. And so a lot of it is, obviously watching people engage in sex. He said sometimes he would just watch people like go about their business, and people just like come in, lay on the bed, watch TV, take a shower, walk around. It wasn't always of a sexual nature. He tells us one story that's kind of like crazy because it's like, I don't know if he's necessarily getting like a sexual drive off of it, but he tells us one story about watching someone eat food and then like wipe their greasy hands on the comforter.
Okay.
But he's like, when he's talking about it, he sounds like he's grossed out about it, but then he says he like watched this person do this for like hours.
Oh my God.
So like, why? Yeah. But then he would definitely watch people have sex. He did watch some people engaging in sex work, sometimes saw some violence between people, which he did not stop. He just kind of watched a lot of stuff. He does talk about how he believes, and this is Gerald, the guy who owns the hotel, how he believes someone may have been murdered in his motel.
Okay.
He sees an assault. He knows that someone is shot. But by the time he kind of like leaves to like go call the police or get help, like the people have left. And so he doesn't know like if someone actually died. He just knows there was some sort of crime or criminal activity, but then the people fled the scene. So he's going on and telling all of these stories. And at this point, this is now like 20, 30 years post motel. So Gerald is telling all these stories. Talise is like enthralled, and he's like, I'm going to write a book about this. I'm going to write an article. Like, we're going to be famous. This is going to be like his swan song because he's nearing retirement, and he's had all of these phenomenal cases, all these phenomenal stories in his life. And he's like, I'm going to end on a high note with this dude.
Of course. Yeah.
So I just want to share some of the things that he's written. He wrote for he's still living. I thought he passed. Good for you, sir. He was a journalist for the New York Times and for Esquire in the 60s. He's considered a definitive contemporary literary journalism icon alongside Joan Didion, Norman Mailer, Hunter S. Thompson, Tom Wolfe, and Truman Capote. So this dude ain't no slouch.
No.
Some of his most famous articles were covering Joe DiMaggio and Frank Sinatra. So, and he's from Ocean City, New Jersey.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Local man.
New Jersey native. We love you guys. So he was a pretty big deal. And so when he gets this story, he wants to create it into a book, which he wants to call The Voyeur's Motel. And then, like I said, Gerald was the focus of that and his story. However, at some point in time after the book is published, and I mean like days after, we find out that not all the stories are true.
Jeez.
And then he had made some false statements to Talise, and then Talise thought he was doing his due diligence and fact checking, but he was fact checking through information that Gerald gave him.
Right.
Like he gave him like articles and stuff like that. And so it really took his credibility into question to the point where literally the book is published on and I'm just making up these days, but like the book is published on a Monday. He pulled the book on like a Wednesday.
Wow.
And then went on Late Night with Seth Meyers and said, nobody buy this book. It's trash. His own damn book. He was He's like, my story was accurate. I was told inaccurate information. I did not know until this point. So like, if you do buy it, if you do read it, like read it with that in mind.
Wow.
So like this guy like almost lost his career over this. So this all happened, the book situation all happened in 2016. Luckily for Talise, he did make a comeback in November 2017. He was one of the people who broke the story about Kevin Spacey's sexual assault accusations.
Oh, okay.
Then later on, he did some other work about sexual abuse survivors and kind of helping the Me Too movement move forward. So he did redeem himself with that. Fun fact about Mr. Talise, he actually appeared as a character in several comic strips of Doonesbury. Do you remember Doonesbury?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. He was featured in that. And he's referenced in season 1, episode 3 of Ted Lasso.
I love Ted Lasso. I don't remember that, but I'll have to
I didn't see Ted Lasso. I know everyone keeps yelling at me about that.
So amazing.
I tried really hard.
I love Roy. He's my friend.
So that book that he was talking about that he then kind of said, don't read, that was in 2016. He wrote a book about Frank Sinatra same year. And then he's only written one more book since then. So I think he probably is kind of rounding out the end of his career, but he's been a pretty prolific writer. So I'm going to talk about what voyeurism is and some other things related to that. But part of what really enthralled me about this movie, to the fact that I watched it 3 times, was it's following like all along. So like, even though some of these stories are wild, there's never any indication that it's not true.
Right. I mean, he showed him the place. So why wouldn't you think all the other stuff makes sense?
So by the time it's 2016 and this whole book thing happens, they want to go back to the motel to be like, but look, there's this place and this, and it has been demolished.
Of course it has.
So now there's nothing there.
Nothing to prove it.
What they did do, which I think is probably for the Netflix documentary, not for any other purpose, they did make like a little scale model that they can like take off the roof and you can like look inside the rooms, and it was kind of cool to see it that way. But he goes on like these long tales of these detailed stories, and then to find out that it's not true kind of makes you question reality, because it's like, people can lie and people can be good liars, but they tend not to give details the way that he gives details.
Right.
We know sometimes when people lie, they give too much detail or too much in like useless detail, but he was giving just enough, to the point where at the end of the documentary, Talise kind of says like, I think he thinks he's telling the truth. Like, I don't think he's lying for the sake of lying. I think he believes these lies he's told himself.
I mean, I think he probably watched certain things and sort of like, what's the word? Not exposition. Like he made up in his mind, sort of filled in the rest of the story from what he saw, maybe made it more outlandish than it actually was, like that kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And like part of it in the documentary, Gerald talks to Talise about how his voyeurism started. And it began, according to him, because we can't fact check this stuff, because it's biographical. According to him, when he was younger, he had an unusually close relationship with his mother and his aunts. It doesn't sound like there was any abuse, but definitely some exposure to inappropriate things, like maybe seeing them nude or things like that. And at one point, his aunt apparently lived across the street, and he took to watching her undress. And this is his story. She caught him and yet continued to do it.
So that was almost like reinforcing him in.
Yeah, reinforcing that.
So,
and he does say at first it wasn't necessarily sexual. It was more of like curiosity, like, oh, are they going to catch me? That kind of thrill. But then it did become sexual over time.
So fun fact, and actually I've never really looked into this, but I have my husband's word to tell me that after later, many months after he graduated high school, that they found that one of the gym teachers / coaches had a whole thing to look into the boys' locker room, and there was some inappropriate stuff. And I think the guy got, went to jail and all this kind of stuff. So he got a call later, like asking him stuff, I guess, but like, that's all he knew. I have to Google like the details on it. He did not go to a high school right near us, but it's down one of the highways near us, near a mall on Route 22. And I'm sure
you didn't triangulate that at all.
No, not at all. You can Google it. It's not, I'm not, this is not me making it up, but the guy, he was a coach for many years, and they all thought he was kind of a weird guy, but not in that way. He was just like extra creepy and like would do weird things, like make you shave with like a rusty razor. If you were a man, you came in, you're supposed to clean shaven in a private high school, and just weird stuff. They never thought that, but apparently it came out later. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Some other things that come up in the documentary that I think are worth just talking about because they're unusual is Gerald at this point, he's married. And I believe his wife met him after the whole motel situation, but she's aware of it. She's heard these stories from him before. And at this point, Gerald is older. I believe he has diabetes and some other health issues. His health isn't the greatest. And initially, his wife supports him in telling the story, figuring like, he's not going to live forever. He wants to get the story off of his chest and kind of come clean. But then as now the suspicions come up and Talise pulls the book and all this other stuff, there's a lot of negative backlash towards Gerald. And his wife is still kind of like an undying supporter of him. But then there's an interview with her where she's kind of like, yeah, I kind of didn't believe it. So it's like, you support him. And like, she's such a lovely woman. Like when Talise comes like visit them, like he brings her flowers because she's just like one of those like lovely.
But how do you get wrapped up in that? Like, how do you like hear that and be like, sure, let's get married?
Well, and I think part of it is because it had been so much time between when it happened and then when she's meeting him. So there's definitely some really odd. And I think this is where like you then start to question reality. He makes some allusions to maybe there was some mafia involvement and that's why he kept quiet, or maybe he was, running money, or the stories get bigger and bigger and bigger, but like for no reason, because we've already found out you were lying.
Yeah.
But his wife is like the sweetest. And it gets to a point where she's like, oh, this is stressing him out and now nobody believes him. And like, I don't want him to die from this. And it's like, so sweet because she just loves her man. She's very sweet, but she's also like, this guy, this reporter, he's so nice to us. And like, he's our friend. And, it hurts that he doesn't believe us anymore. But I'm like, but you just said you didn't believe it anymore, girl. So she's lovely, but she's a little misguided. And honestly, the way that she comes across is just maybe she comes across as too innocent, but I feel like it's an act, but like not a negative act. I feel like she's just like, we've all met women who for some reason kind of take on this personality of like the dumb blonde or the dumb whatever.
Right.
And I feel like that's kind of this persona she's taken, but I think she's way smarter. I think it's just, that's the way that she chooses to go about her life. And, like I said, she's a very lovely, sweet woman. So good for her. But it's like, if you thought this was fake, why did you say, like, do a documentary, write a book? Like, why was there encouragement? We come to then find out that maybe they were having some monetary issues.
Right.
There's another part that has like nothing to do with the motel where Gerald says he has like hundreds of thousands of dollars in like baseball cards and these other collectibles, which he actually does have. Like he does show them on film and like, but he's like, but I'm not going to sell them. But it's like, that's kind of his MO is like he trumps himself
trumps things up. Yep.
Exactly.
Everyone knows somebody like that.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of times those people, like it starts off very innocent. Like they're just trying to keep up with everyone else. They're just trying to be on the same like level as other people, especially if they don't have the best self-esteem. But then it goes a little too far and then everyone questions you and then you're like, it didn't even make sense what I just said.
Yeah.
So with all that in mind, as I said, I alluded to, there were some sexual things. And I say it that way, that he was observing other people engaging in sex acts. He never fully admits to having a sexual thrill from that, but he also doesn't say that he didn't get off from it. So it's like, if you're watching, like he does talk one time about the way he describes it is like he's watching like these porn stars. I don't think they're actually porn stars. They're probably just like very attractive people having sex. But he was like, yeah, they were like really good and they were going at it for hours. And it was like, I think you're enjoying this. Like,
yeah, I think so.
But I also think there's something to be said about, and because we've all been in a situation where you saw something maybe you weren't supposed to see.
Right.
That like there is a little bit of a thrill in it. Like, oh my gosh, I wasn't supposed to.
Right.
Did you see that?
I can see that to in the very beginning.
Yeah.
But making an entire hotel that you built an extra viewing platform is a little something.
At this point, was that platform built so that Talisa could see it, or was it there all along? Like there's a lot of unanswered questions that I don't think will ever be answered. And maybe that's kind of the point is like, just like with voyeurism where you're not supposed to watch this, maybe we're not supposed to know this.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to know if it's true or not. We're not supposed to know that. And sometimes it's okay with not knowing. I think especially in this age where everybody has to have an answer for everything. You're Googling, you're searching. Maybe it's okay to not know some stuff.
I guess. Yeah.
So voyeurism as a word is a type of paraphilia. Do you know what a paraphilia is?
So we were, what's funny? Okay, wait, we were literally just talking about philia at the table today at dinner with my kids.
Which means love of.
And that's what I was saying. But my husband's like, it's got a big connotation, necrophilia, like all these things. And I'm like,
but I'm like,
I'm like, hydrophilia or like it's just a Latin root word that means love of versus like phobia. Like it's just the opposite of phobia. But we had a whole conversation right at dinner. I'm like, I swear I use philia all the time in a completely normal context.
Well, I feel like it comes up in medical things.
Yeah.
More often than in other people's language.
So you said paraphilia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not quite as easy to break down.
Yeah. Can be so many different things. I don't know.
It doesn't mean pair.
No.
Doesn't mean two.
No, I don't know.
I mean, technically it could mean two.
Two? I don't know. Paraphilia.
Paraphilia is an uncommon, intense, persistent sexual arousal or attraction to anything not sexual by nature.
So, I see that. So sort of aside of, or para meaning like how paranormal is like outside of, like
parallel.
Parallel. There you go. Like, I get it.
Yeah. So a paraphilia has also been defined as a sexual interest in anything other than legally consenting human partners. We're not going to talk about the legalities of all this because a lot of this stuff either currently is or once was a crime and is no longer, or is a crime but is often not prosecuted.
Right.
So for voyeurism, that's something that's often referred to as like being a peeping Tom.
Peeping Tom, yeah.
Yes, a watcher. Or I've never heard of this term. Maybe it's a British term. It sounds like a British term. Jags.
Jags.
Yeah. And it says, according to Wikipedia, which we know is the penultimate source of information, that results from the legend of Lady Godiva. Do you know the legend of Lady
heard
Godiva?
Of it. Don't know it. Like, I've heard it, like the reference of Lady Godiva. Isn't there a song?
Yes.
Yes.
There is. Is it the Beatles? I don't think it's the Beatles.
Hold on.
Lady Godiva.
Hold on. Let's Google that.
Let's go down a rabbit hole, shall we?
My mouse not listening to me.
Your mouse is not listening to you?
It is.
I don't want my mouse listening.
Lady Godiva song. It is Lady Godiva, the popular song, 1966 by Paul Jones, British guy. So close enough.
See, the Beatles are British. I was in the right genre.
He was in the right era. It's in the right time.
It was in the right genre. So Lady Godiva, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole because there's a lot about it. But basically, she's that image of the naked lady on the white horse.
Yes, I Googled that. I found her. Yes.
Yes. So that's kind of the imagery about that. But basically, with that is seeing nudity, seeing something like that you're not commonly seeing in public. And then obviously, when we're talking about voyeurism, finding that attractive or finding that interesting. I just closed my tab on voyeurism. Let me open it up again. There's other types of paraphilia while I find that tab again. So another common one so paraphilia is much like a lot of the other disorders in the DSM are kind of in groups. Mm-hmm. So with paraphilia, there is voyeurism, exhibitionism, and frauderism. So do you know what frauderism is? I'll give you a little tiny hint. Frauderism often happens in crowded places like the subway.
Like rubbing up or touching
people? Rubbing against or like moving against someone.
So
in a
you ever been in a really crowded college bar? You've experienced it.
And that's why I said crowded places.
Yep.
On the subway, it happens. So it is
crowded
something,
bar. Yeah. Most women have had something, grabbed.
I mean, on the dance floor.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, we're just dancing. No.
No.
You got me feeling like I'm sitting on a washing machine. Like, come on. So that's frauderism. And that is a paraphilic interest in rubbing, usually the person's pelvic area or erect penis against a non-consenting person for sexual pleasure. Mm-hmm. It doesn't say it in this, but typically, my understanding of it is typically the person is not aware that it's happening until maybe there's been some sort of climax or it's happened enough times that it is obvious. And it was first interpreted as a sign of a psychological disorder by French psychiatrist Valentin Magnan, who described 3 acts of frottage, which is rubbing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that is that. It became, it was inducted into the DSM in the 3rd edition, and it remains in the 5th edition currently. And it is called frauderistic disorder currently. So that's one type. Exhibitionism. I'm sure you know what that means. Not saying that you do. Just the definition. You know the definition of the word.
Yes.
What is the definition of that word?
Somebody who doesn't mind being out naked in places that is inappropriate to be naked, or just doing something that like draws that sort of attention.
Sort of. It's a little bit more specific. It is the practice of exposing your intimate parts, breasts, genitals, buttocks, in a public setting. Yeah. But this is not performative. It's not like being a stripper or a burlesque dancer or something. This
it's
is
in a place
doing
that you wouldn't expect it.
This is what we think of as like flashers, where you're walking up to somebody, opening your coat, you're naked. Like it's doing it with someone who's unsuspecting. However, now they're saying that this is happening live or virtually through sending people unwanted nude selfies, streaming online, things like that. And often the legal term for this is indecent exposure. Mm-hmm. Which it is still an illegal act. Sorry, I just saw a bunch of words on here. I'm like, that has nothing to do with anything.
So that's interesting, though. Like, so there is a line to be drawn there because there are some places that is completely acceptable to show those body parts. So you could
like a nude beach.
You could be in Europe and topless. You can technically be a female topless in New York City because it is legal to be topless, like in New York City. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that, but thank you for sharing. Let's go do it.
No thanks. But
I got nothing to see.
In a place that you wouldn't expect that as a possibility is where that line gets crossed and it goes from that to a crime. So that's an interesting caveat right there.
Yeah. I feel like most people have heard of this in more of I don't really want to say it's a playful context because it's still not cool if somebody doesn't want to see it, but like streakers.
Yeah.
Like at sporting events and stuff, the person who runs across the
field
naked. Yes. Mooning people. Exactly. This line just popped out to me and I feel like I have to share it with you. Researchers have linked the sending of unsolicited dick pics to exhibitionist and narcissistic biases and either ambivalent or aggressive sexism. So basically what Wikipedia is telling me is that research says that unsolicited dick pics is exhibitionism.
Yeah. And I see that. And it's like in a forceful way that you're not asking for any of that.
I mean, does anyone ask for it? I don't.
I mean,
I've never met a female who asked for a dick pic. They just received one.
Right. True.
And maybe you didn't mind it, but I've never met a woman who's requested one.
Right. It is like a power move.
Well, and I do feel like this is an estimate I'm making up in my head, but I'm going with it because this is our podcast. I feel like 90% of dick pics are unsolicited.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. I'm glad that like I like passed that online dating part where that started to be like the thing. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's just like, there's so much out there. You know what I mean? That you gotta like get through all of the crap to find the good people. Yeah. Like that, like you're just online dating and we exchange numbers and now all of a sudden that's what you do. Like, what kind of creeps are there?
So apparently there are various types of exhibitionism. Some of these, I feel like you know them, but you've never heard them by this name. Okay. So let's play a game, shall we?
Quizzing me on Latin terms that I don't know. So let's see how well I don't know these.
We already talked about streaking. That's not a Latin term.
Okay.
I actually wonder where that came. I'm not going down that rabbit hole right now. I'm going to say it wrong. Anosmira.
Anosmira.
Anasyra. Anosmira.
Anosmira. I don't know. To me, like anas means to connect, but that is not like anaspatosis, but that's probably not what that means.
No. It's basically taking upskirt photos.
Yeah, that's a type though. That's a thing. Yeah.
But it's preferably when the person's not wearing underwear.
Right. But yeah, that's definitely a different type that I've heard of for sure.
Another one is candualism. Part of it's in there, dual.
Dual, okay, something too, but K-A-N, K-E-N? C-A-N, candualism. I don't know. Boobs that are coming to cans.
No. This is when you are in a consensual act with someone and then that person exposes the both of you to others.
So like videotapes you. Yeah. Got it.
Flashing, we already know that. The difference between flashing and streaking is just one part of the body. Streaking is full nudity.
It's the trench coat. I mean, you have to have a trench coat for that to work.
Trench coat is flashing because you're just doing it momentary. Streaking is you're naked
the whole time. And just running across whatever. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Mooning, we talked about. Yes. The display of bare buttocks by pulling down of trousers and underwear. The act is most often done for the sake of humor, disparagement, or mockery.
Yes.
Not anymore, my friends. Not anymore. It ain't
can't do that.
Martyr Macalia, like martyr, M-A-R-T-Y, M-A-C-H-L-I-A. You know what it is. It's just we've never used this word.
Okay. I have no idea.
It's basically when you enjoy watching other people have sex with them knowing that you're watching.
Okay. I wonder where these terms come from. Like some of these are, I don't know.
Well, I'm laughing because of the next one. It's right there in the word. Reflectoporn.
Reflectoporn.
What do you think reflectoporn is?
Is that porn? Is that sex in the mirror? I don't know.
Kind of, yeah. It's the act of stripping and taking a photograph using an object with a reflective surface, such as a mirror. It can be a toaster, a TV. So it's like you're not taking the selfie, you're taking the reflection picture.
And people who pretend like they didn't know that was in the background of their picture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, that's a whole thing, reflectoporn.
Wow.
Streaking, here's a good one. And I really do love this word. I don't feel like we use it enough. Scatologia.
Where are these words coming from? Scatologia.
Telephone scatologia.
Telephone scatologia. Is that just a spicy call? Like,
yeah, it's like when somebody calls and they're like breathing or gross.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what that is. This one, I'm not buying it, but we'll go with it because it's on the Wikipedia page. Underwear as outerwear.
Okay, is that like superheroes?
So this is like when a girl, do you know what a whale's tail is?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah, so it's like having a whale's tail, wearing maybe a shirt that like is open enough so your bra's hanging out.
Got it. I don't know.
I go back and forth on that because yes, it is purposeful. It tends to be to entice someone, but I also feel like depending on the time, it's fashion. Not that I think it's fashionable,
fashion,
but
it's also the age.
I mean, we've got a whole ass song. Dong,
Wait,
dong, dong.
Exactly. But really quick, I just thought of with that scatologia, the heavy breathing. I bet that has really fallen out where it doesn't happen because it's not like you're picking up a landline.
People don't
you
answer
screen
phones
your
anymore.
phone calls. You see it's not a number you don't know, but back in the day you could dial any random number and somebody would pick up, but that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if that was your thing, sorry.
I'm sure they found something else. I'm sure they found another yuck to yum. So, and then we talked about voyeurism. So as going back to that, because I finally found it, most voyeurs do not have voyeuristic disorder.
Okay.
Why do you think that is?
There's something that makes it pathology. It has to.
Yeah, we kind of just talked about it.
I don't know. It has to make it pathology. But how does, if it's criminal or if it.
So with paraphilias, and this is kind of answering the question without answering it, it becomes to the point where people must engage in these acts to reach climax.
So it almost gets to a point where they can't otherwise. Got it.
Exactly. So like think of like a really hardcore fetishistic disorder, which we'll get into in a minute. If you've got a foot fetish, you need that high heel shoe or you need to see those feet.
Without that, that's not going to work.
And so I think that's kind of where this is going. I think the other part of it too is sometimes when someone is being a voyeur, they're not necessarily only watching the sexual acts. They're watching other acts as well.
Right.
And so that takes out that piece of it. So we talked in the past about sadism and masochism on our Dying for Sex episode. So I won't go into that. I'm not going to go into it because we all know what it is, but pedophilia is a fetishistic disorder. And then I don't believe it's in the DSM. And I do look at this. I've got my
Bible.
DSM. I got the big one.
You got like tabs in there? Look at that.
Oh yeah. Girl, if you use it enough, you need the tabs or else you're going to be flipping for ages. I didn't think that transvestic disorder was in here anymore. So let me look.
Okay.
This is the newest edition. So there were some changes to certain things, changes to some titles. Okay. So here we go. Let me go to the sexy section in the back.
The sexy section of the DSM.
So we've got voyeuristic disorder, exhibitionistic disorder, frotteuristic disorder, sexual masochism, sexual sadism. It is still in here. Pedophilic disorder, fetishistic disorder, transvestic disorder. So let's see, what is the difference? Okay, so here they're talking more about those folks, not that they are. So let me back up. For a very long time, we inappropriately use the word transvestite to describe someone who is transgender.
Which is two different things.
And this is talking more about that transvestite situation where someone is getting a sexual thrill off of wearing the fabrics, materials, clothing of the opposite gender.
Right.
Or getting aroused by thoughts of themselves as the opposite gender. I find this odd though, as I'm reading it. It says images of self as a woman. So only a man that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
I guess traditionally in the way it was thought of before, but yeah.
Have you ever seen some real good kings?
Oh, no. I mean, I'm sure. Yes, absolutely. But I guess in the, previous understanding of this.
Yeah.
Do you remember at the bar in Cranford that there used to be the one person who was a male who dressed like a female? And I'm not sure if they were just ahead of their time and were wanting to be transgender, but I didn't think of it that way. And they were lovely. I would sit and we would have conversations, and I kind of feel like I can't remember their name, but anyway, but it was such a thing at the time because it wasn't accepted, but all the bartenders were very protective of them. Right. And were like you can sit and chill and talk and be friendly, but not make fun of, not disparage. And it was an interesting situation because of that time, we're talking late 90s, early 2000s. Like some of this was before I was 21. So even like up to the year 2000.
You were at a bar before you were 21.
I know. But yeah, we used to just sit and chit chat and they were very super friendly. And occasionally they'd buy a drink for somebody. But yeah, it was interesting because in that situation where things were not accepted at that time, everyone was very kind and knew not to like mess with them and accept them. So it was cool.
Which is good that it was a supportive environment like that.
Right.
So what I'm seeing here, it'll be linked in the show notes, is that using this term transvestic disorder is diagnosed by a professional when the person themselves is saying that they do these things and find it distressing.
Right.
So
that
that's taking it away from being
way.
transgender and where it's
Right.
preference and they feel better or feel more like themselves in that way.
Right.
So
there's a difference.
Yeah, there is the difference. I do feel like, especially for maybe some folks of our generation, definitely older generations, there's still this misnomer of that they're interchangeable. We know that they are not, but that's what that is. And then I think too, we've all heard stories about people who are doing this in secret and then they're found out, but they're not making a transition or they're still attracted to their partners. And so I think it goes with these other disorders where these are things that a lot of people have a lot of shame around and hide about themselves. And so that dissonance, that cognitive dissonance is what makes it the disorder because it's causing them problems. Not that the actual act of whatever they're doing is necessarily wrong, with the exception of pedophilia. That is not a consenting person. Children cannot give consent. End of story. But these other things that could in the right situation be less threatening or more consensual, that tends not to be the situation that these people are doing them in. Right. And so that's what's making it a disorder.
A disorder.
Where, these days with the interwebs and everything, you can find somebody who's into what you're into and the two of you guys do it together and it's all cool. And then it's not a disorder.
Right.
So, which I think that's maybe one of the positive things about the internet and things being so searchable is that if you're into something and you've got some shame around it, you can find your community. And as long as it's legal and consenting, you're okay with that. And then you can kind of fulfill.
I wonder if that takes away maybe some of the dysfunction in that somebody maybe who had that drive would seek less than optimal or less than consensual means. I don't know. And then now,
I think we could say that about anything for anyone.
Right.
Like, where's that fine line between being a law-abiding citizen and doing things that are hurting others?
Right, right. But now that you have access to do this without harming others, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but.
Yeah, no, I think it's an interesting thing to consider. So there'll be a bunch of show notes linked about, the DSM, what's in there currently. DSM is always under revision. So what we're calling things now may not be a disorder in the future or may be reconceptualized as something different. And I think a big misnomer or misconception about psychology and the DSM, which is the big book of psychological disorders, is that everything in here is bad. There are not value judgments with this stuff.
Right.
This is something that doesn't happen very often. It causes distress for the person. This is what we call it, so we know how to address it. That's what that is.
Right.
Of course, there are some things in here that do carry more negative weight than others, certain diagnoses, but that is not the intent of what this is.
Yeah.
So that's what I got for that. Yeah. So you can watch the film. It was a lot. It was quite long too. Cause like I said, I had watched it like twice before. And then when I went to watch it again, I was like, damn, this thing's long. I'm bored. But it's probably because I watched it twice before. Yeah.
So I had put out a little thing last week when we were away because we were closing out July trying to.
I know. And you didn't share it with me. I would have shared it.
It was just really quick because I was like on, internet on the boat, but we were getting very close to certain milestones that I'm just pushing us to achieve. And then I was like, we didn't quite make the number I wanted, but I went back and I looked at where we were a year ago. And I was like, I'm not going to do this math. I'm going to ask Claude to do this math for me. But I was like,
did you hear Claude hacked into something?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. My boyfriend.
Your boyfriend was up to no good. You like the bad boys.
So I was like, what percentage improvement is this from last year to this year? And so from July of last year to July of this year, we have a 224% more downloads in the month. So we can't, yes, it's not the number I aspire to. But the growth is there. And so that made me feel better. Like in the end, when I looked at it, I'm like, wow, almost 225% improvement in that year. So I want to think about it in like that positive way. But all our friends out there, listen to all our backlog, even if we didn't know what we were doing in the beginning. I mean, tell a friend.
You had some funny stuff on there.
I know. There's definitely some like references.
I have some funny stuff on there.
Yes, you do. But some random references, random things that we said that like we can never recreate again. And like tell a friend if you like us, like somebody who's like-minded and you think might listen to us because it made me feel better when I look back at it. I'm like, we can only continue to go forward from here. We're not losing anyone. We're just, ticking along. And was a little worried when I mentioned back that like Singapore had jumped up exponentially. And I'm like, is this a bot? Why would a bot be downloading us?
Singapore loves us. Leave them alone. They're not all a bot.
Because there was one big giant like day that a bunch. But then I've seen like little trickles. So I'm like, that's less likely to be a bot. I think it's real people.
Because you were rude and they were like, F you, we're not listening.
No, if you're real people, email us so I can know you're real
people. We know that you're real. We love you. Keep listening. Share
I was
with
like,
a
why
friend.
do bots want to download us? What is it?
I don't feel like it's bots because we're not making any money.
I know.
So
I don't know.
They're not going to get anything
from
us.
I don't know how this works. But so I'm like, oh, I think this is real. And like there was some other like countries and other states. Utah jumped up. So
nice.
Hey,
you know what?
In Utah.
Because I love the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
It's true. That's true. Listening. You have referenced that many times that it's them. They're listening.
I was literally just watching it before we started.
Those housewives are listening right now, Nicole.
Oh my God. If you guys are listening, Mary, I love you. I don't think your church is a cult. Heather, I love how you speak out and support people who have left Mormonism. Brittany, hi. not a favorite. Meredith and Lisa, hi. Bronwyn, love your fashion, girl. Love it. Love it. You are fabulous. Okay. And if I forgot anyone, I love you guys too.
So anyway, we appreciate you guys and thank you for being here for our growth. We're getting there. We're doing it.
We're getting there. We will continue to get there. And I think the most important thing is we still have fun doing this. We wouldn't keep doing it if we weren't enjoying it.
Exactly. It's not like a job.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you for listening to Medical Media Mixer.
The perfect cocktail. Cheers.
Cheers. Empty wine glass.
Boo. No empties.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Medical Media Mixer podcast. If you enjoyed the conversation, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platform. Your support helps others find the show. Want to keep the conversation going? Follow us on social media. We're at Medical Media Mixer Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and on Pinterest, the Medical Media Mixer board.
If you'd like to support the show and help us grow, check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/Medical Media Mixer Podcast. And on Buy Me a Coffee, buymeacoffee.com/Medical Media Mixer Podcast. If you have a topic idea, feedback, or just want to say hi, send us an email at medicalmediamixer@gmail.com. You can also stream all of our episodes and find more info on our website, medicalmediamixer.podbean.com. We're available on all major podcast platforms, so no matter where you listen, we're there. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, keep mixing medicine and media.